ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Um, Thank you very much for joining this Srimad Bhagavatam reading. So today we are going to read third canto, 21st chapter, 34th shloka. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. The shloka is निरीक्षस्तास्तस्य यायाव अशेषा सिद्धेश्वराभिस्तुतो स्तुता सिद्धमार्गाः आकर्णायान् पत्ररतेन्द्रपक्षैर् उच्चैरितं स्तोमम् उदीर्न समा निरीक्षिस्तास्तस्य यायाव अशेषा सिद्धेश्वराभिस्तुता सिद्धमार्गाः आकर्णयान् पत्र रतेन्द्रपक्षैर् उच्चैरितं स्तोतम् उदीर्न साम निरीक्षिस्तास्तस्य यायाव अशेष सिद्धेश्वराभिस्तुता सिद्धमार्ग आकर्णयान् पत्ररथेन्द्रपक्षैर् उच्चैरितं स्तोमम् उदीर्न साम. Synonyms. Nirikshastah tasya. While he was looking on, Yayuhu, he left. Ashesha, all. Siddheshwara, by liberated souls. Abhistutha is praised. Siddha Marga, the way to the spiritual world. Akarnayan, Akarnayan, hearing. Patra Rata Indra of Garuda, king of birds. Pakshay, by wing. Pakshay, by wings. Uchairitam, vibrated. Stomam, hymens. Udhirna, Udhirna Sama, forming the Sama Veda. Translation: while the sages stood looking on, the Lord left by pathway leading to Vaikuntha, a path extolled by all great liberated souls. The sage stood listening as the hymns forming the basis of the Samaveda were vibrated by flapping wings of the Lord's carrier, Garuda. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. In the Vedic literature, it is stated that two wings of the transcendental bird Garuda, who carries the Lord everywhere, are two divisions of the Samaveda, known as Brahat and Ratantara. Garuda works as the carrier of the Lord. Therefore, he is considered the transcendental prince of all carriers. With his two wings, Garuda began to vibrate the Samaveda, which is chanted by great sages to pacify the Lord. The Lord is worshipped by Brahma, by Lord Shiva, by Garuda, and other demigods with selected poems. And great sages worship him with hymns of Vedic literature, such as the Upanishads and Samaveda. These Samaveda utterances are automatically heard by the devotee when another devotee of the Lord, Garuda, flaps his wings. It is clearly stated here that the sage Kardama began to look to the path by which Lord was being carried to Vaikuntha. It is thus confirmed that Lord descends from his abode Vaikuntha in the spiritual sky and is carried by Garuda. The path which leads to Vaikuntha is not worshipped by the ordinary class of transcendentalists. Only those who are already liberated from material bondage becomes devotees of the Lord. Those who are not liberated from material bondage cannot understand transcendental devotional service. In Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated, Yata, Yatatam api siddhanam. There are many persons who are trying to attain perfection by striving for liberation from material bondage. And those who are actually liberated are called Brahma Bhuta or Siddha. Only Siddhas or persons liberated from material bondage can become devotee. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Anyone is engaged in Krishna conscious or devotional service is already liberated from the influence of the modes of the material nature. Here it is also confirmed that the path of devotional service is worshipped by the liberated persons, not the conditioned souls. The conditioned souls cannot understand the devotional service of the Lord. Kardama Muni was a liberated soul who saw the Supreme Lord in person, face to face. There was no doubt that he was liberated, and thus he could not see Garuda carrying the Lord. Thus he could see Garuda carrying the Lord on the way to Vaikuntha. And here the flapping of his wings, vibrating the sound of Hare Krishna, the essence of Samaveda. So it is Namo Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So here the Supreme Lord has manifested to give his darshan to Kardama Muni. So, and then, and all the sages assembled here, and it's a place where Bindu Sarovara, and it is encircled by the river Saraswati. This is what the 33 sloka was describing the scene there, where all the sages assembled, and then the Lord descended to give his darshan to the Kardama Muni. Now, in the 34th sloka, now the departure scene is described here. Now, very interestingly, there are several lessons that we could learn. So, especially there are, it is said that there are three types of people. Some people, the first type people are always find something or the other, oh, this is fault, that is fault. So, these are that kind of people. And whereas the second type of the people, they look at the pastimes, they hear the pastimes, and then they try to see what they can learn from that, and then practice their life so that it becomes conscious of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. And the third type is their exalted devotees or siddhas. They are already liberated from the material bondages. So for them, all the pastimes, they what they enjoy that. They completely uh, indulged in that, and that rasa, they are aswadam. I mean, they are enjoying that rasa. So that is the exalted situation. So we are all, I don't know you, but I'm a baby in the bhakti or devotional service. I'm learning. I'm sadhaka. So I'm learning. So from that perspective, I'm looking. And also Srila Prabhupada in his purports, he clearly gives us what we can learn and what we have to aspire for that. So having said that, we'll deep dive in the purport. So it is said that the wings, Garuda, we all know that Garuda is the carrier of the Lord Vishnu. Wherever he goes, the Garuda is the one takes him from Vaikunta to the wherever the Lord want to go. So here also it is said that after giving darshan to the Kardama Muni, the Lord is departing to his abode Vaikunta. And it is described that Garuda is it's a gigantic and what to speak. See, anything is another thing. Lesson for us is any devotee or any person who indulged, who is carrying out the service of the Lord, they are the best and they are the topmost in that category. So, in the birds category, Garuda is the topmost. Why? Not because he is big, not because he is any other thing, because he is performing the service to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the very qualification to become the topmost, the best is to serve the Supreme Lord. So that is the reason he is considered Pakshi Raja. He is the king of the birds. Now, second thing is the Garuda, when he is taking off, his wings, his two wings are known as their representation of the Samaveda. So, Samaveda, it is my understanding that it is full of glorification of the Supreme Lord. So, each wing, they are representations of two aspects or two categories of the Samaveda. They are Brahat and Ratamrita. So, now when Garuda is taking off, and obviously he is his wings also taking off, which are helping it to move into the sky and the rest of the travel. So when that action is performed, it is said that these humans are loudly coming out, hearing the Kardama Muni, all other devotees, they could hear these hymns, the glorification of the Supreme Lord. So it's a beautiful lesson for us. When we perform in this world, our actions should be in such a way, it should be reminding the Supreme Lord's presence, right? Any prayer that we do, why do we do? One, to express our gratitude, and second, to beg the Supreme Lord presence in that atmosphere. See, when the Supreme Lord, he gives his darshan to the pure devotees who are surrendered, complete surrendered, and always in his conscious. So for them, he gives darshan. But for others also, he blesses. See, for he doesn't need to be physically present to experience his presence, right? He can do anything. So as sadhakas, we may not, I may not be eligible to see Lord's darshan, but at least his glance, when he looks, that itself creates an atmosphere. So these hymns help us to feel that presence of the Supreme Lord. So that is how our actions should be. See, often ours is a preaching organization. See, unlike other temples, here I don't mean to disgrace any organization, any temple. That is not at all my intent. My experience I am sharing when we come to Srila Prabhupada organization, it is more than a temple. What it is? It is a hospital to cure our material disease. What is a material disease? Our attachment to all the things in this material world, that is the disease. And that disease, to cure that disease, Srila Prabhupada has traveled extensively and established all these hospitals, clinics, for the welfare of the mankind. Why? People can come here and then they can understand what is the eternal or the true purpose of this life, isn't it? See, often we are bombarded left and right, top and bottom, with so many inundated problems in this world. Who doesn't have the problem? Everybody has a problem. The very reason we take birth on the planet Earth is to what do you call this karma activities, whatever our activities we perform to fulfill or to experience the results of our karma. So depending on how, what karmas, activities, actions we have performed, to get the reactions for that, we are taking the birth. So that is common, right? So we don't need to be bewildered. So when we come to the temples, we understand this philosophy. And this philosophy will help us to look at these problems like nothing, right? See, a problem is relative, right? Say, I feel what I am going through is the biggest problem in the world, unless I see the problems outside my own circle, my own mentality, then only I can say, well, Baba, what I'm going through is nothing, isn't it? So now we are in a very affluent society, United States of America. Rest of the world looks to come here, but whereas people are here, they feel that they are going through so many problems because they are only confined here. But if they look at the different parts of the world, take it Middle East, Asia, Europe, everywhere, some or the other problem. Wars are going. People, it's not even because of due to their actions. There are so many things that are happening in their life, not because of exactly due to their actions, but something else. See, these kleshas, right? We know these three kleshas: Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika. So, all these kleshas, problems are there, but the only problems that we can strive to control and manage is our own thoughts, our own problems created by our own mind, our own thought process. So, those are the problems that we can easily overcome by listening to the Vedic literature. And also, we have to be very careful here. Vedic literature is vast, it caters so many different types of modes of natures. In particularly, these three modes of nature: mode of ignorance, mode of passion, mode of goodness, right? So it caters everything to everybody, not just for only bhaktas or devotees. So that is the reason we have to be careful what kind of Vedic literature we are pursuing. Why? We don't have enough lifetime, or neither we don't have lifetime nor intelligence to go through everything in the Vedic literature, whatever the Vyasadeva has given to us, Srila Vyasadeva gave to us, and come to a conclusion. No, the smart thing is already there are realized souls. Just approach them, they will give the essence, practices, get out of this material world. That is what the smart people do, right? There is a saying in Hindi, Akal mand ko ishara kafi hai, right? What is the smart people will do? Then they may not be experts in every field, but they know how to approach the realized people, how to get the information, get lessons from them, and perfect. That's all it is, right? Even in our material life also, in there are so many fields in material life. It's a gigantic. I mean, so much advances that we see in science. Amazing thing, right? The smartphones, everything. Now, 25 years back or 20 in my childhood, I would never think that there will be a day everything will be I can do from my palm itself. Look at this. Today, I was supposed to go home and then from there read Bhagavatam. I couldn't make it. Then I said I will sit in the parking lot and I will just read from here. Why it is possible? Just because of the advancements in the society, advancements in the science, right? So devotees do appreciate what is happening in the material world, but they don't think this is the ultimate goal for them to achieve, enjoy, and sustain. That is not what they look. They use these achievements and perfect their life and in the service of the Supreme Lord. That is called dovetail. This is one of my favorite words in all our when we read, when we hear, when we all these things. I hear this is my favorite. Dovetail is very important. Whatever we see, how we can use it in our sadhana and how we can use it in service to the Supreme Lord. Yes, these two things, that's it. Our it is easy for us to go at least or think about perfecting our lives. So that is what I am learning. Garuda's activities when he is moving and that sound is not like a when we fly the flight sound. It's very annoying. A lot of people they put cotton in their ears, but whereas here no, the rishis are eager to listen that because that sound is no longer a unnecessary noise. That sound is glorification of the Supreme Lord. See how the wings when they are flipping and up and down, they that sound is the like a glorification of the Hymans, glorification of the Supreme Lord, all the things. So that is the beauty. So our actions. So the lesson I learn is our actions should speak. How when others look at, they should say, "Wow, this is something very blissful," and they should inquire. That is the true preaching, right? See, often sometimes we bewildered when we go to work. So we should put this attire, our devotee attire. Well, I mean, if you can do it fine. But not necessarily just because if you put the dress, you become devotee. Yes, that is one of the act we do because isn't it? Because one time when I was in Pittsburgh, some devotee was saying, well, I was a bit headstrong person also, because unless I'm convinced, I won't do things. So he was saying, no, you should shave, you should put. I said, yes, Prabhu, but I'm not convinced to do all those things. Why I need to do? Then the devotee said, no, if you don't put, you are not devotee. Then I said, Prabhu, I mean, I'm a headstrong person, right? I said, Prabhu, if just by putting this whatever 500 rupees kurta, 500 rupees dhoti, and tilak, if you become just by wearing all this, if you become devotee, then both sasta hai wo. Then within 2000 rupees, you are a devotee. No, devotee is internal. Internally, you have to nourish that one. So, but having said that, it doesn't mean that we have to follow certain etiquette, right? The etiquette, in the sense, it's not even, I look at the from etiquette perspective, because every walk of life, there is a certain code of conduct is prescribed. Why? So, just why the reason I am bringing this topic is actions, right? So, from there, I'm just expanding on that. Now, forget about this. But let us see in the material world. Can we go to in dhoti and kurta to our work? There, you don't question, right? Oh, to go to HR, why can't I come in kurta and dhoti? No, we don't question. We know that this organization's policies, that is a dress code, just follow it. And then, if in the cops are there, they have a specific dress. Why? Because when people look at that person in that dress, same person at home, if you look at him in his normal non-official clothes, you'll be joyful. Okay, Baba, you will be very friendly with him, and then But the moment you see in that dress code, your senses comes to alert. Hey, I need to be cautious when I speak to this person because he has the authority to punish me, right? Then your senses come to in the right place and then you properly behave. Similarly, when we see this devotee attire, it reminds us the Supreme Lord. That's all. It could be this dress or any dress. What I am saying is a dress is prescribed. So that's all it is. So as much as possible, we should try it. At home you can do, or not problem. Even at home also you don't need to. But at least when we come to a gathering where a similar kind of people are there, we come in that attire so that we inspire by each. Oh, this is the sangha of the devotees who are they're trying their best to follow this these principles, these activities, so that their lives are enriched with the bhakti. That's all it is. So the point from it is actions. Our actions should speak the real preaching. So here the wings are and even in the 12th chapter, the Lord really speaks so many things. How who is considered liar, the bhakta or devotee? So there he says the bhaktas one of the qualities he speaks in such a way it's very attractive. It inspires. It doesn't hurt other people. So that non-violence speech is very important. So, and also constantly see, I've seen one time, this is in, I think, Kishore. The Vaisheshika Prabhu was giving a class about how the book distribution should be done. And then Prabhu was just walking to the restroom and he was singing so blissfully some of the bhajans. Then I was asking Prabhu, what made you to recite? He says, I try to all the time recite these shlokas. It helps me in memorization and also it puts me always in that conscious. What a beautiful way, right? So if we can nourish that one, it's amazing. So here on this point, I encourage devotees try to memorize. And now smartphones are there. Put some slokas on your phone and then meditate. See, otherwise this mind need to be constantly engaged. Otherwise, this mind will create a walk in us. The only way is constantly remembering the Supreme Lord. Is it easy? No, not at all. And in this connection, I want to um, mention, you might have heard this pastime, right? See, Narad Muni is an exalted devotee, and is always in Nirantar bhajan, always in the glorification of the Supreme Lord. Narayana, 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 right? This is how we see him. He's always. Now, he was looking at the material world, Bhuloka, people who are constantly indulged in perfecting their material opulences. People who want, whoever, whatever their stage, they want to go to the next level. A pauper want to become a little bit, uh, get better facility, and then a middle class person want to higher class, higher class want to go higher. Like, a person who has $1,000, he want $100,000. A person who has, he wants 1 million. A person who has 1 million, he wants 10 million, and then a billion, trillion. There is no end. Continuously, we want more, right? Recently, we celebrated Govardhan Puja, where the Lord is saying, Anivore, give me more bhoga. The same thing applies for us also. But we say, I say, okay, Anivore, give me more money, give me more facilities, give me more enjoyment. This is how we do. So, but the devotee, he understands. No, I need to have. It's not like that we are saying we don't want anything. No, we do need to sustain this life. But we want to the extent to meet our basic needs. Fine, then we don't become greedy. So similarly, the material life is not easy. So this past time where Narad Muni was seeing, then he went to a Vaikunta. So then he was asking the Lord, oh Lord, look at these the residents of the Bhuloka. They're constantly back on these material gains only. They don't have any damn clue about what is the purpose of life, blah 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 blah. He was saying. Then the Lord heard. Then he said, okay, yeah, you're right. Then he said, okay, can you do me a favor? So he said, take this the bowl which is full of with milk. So put this on your head and go around the circumambulate planet Earth once and then come down. But the condition is you should not drop even a single drop from this pot. That is a condition. If you do that, that means you failed in the test. Otherwise, you are successful. Then Narad Muni said, what is the big deal in this? He said, okay. He went on and he circumambulated and he came back. And then he said, oh my Lord, I have passed the test. Not even a single drop from this pot, the milk has dropped. So I'm successfully passed your test. And then the Lord asks Narada, oh Lord, my dear devotee, so how many times you remember me in this while you are circumambulating the earth with this pot? Then Narada Muni realizes not even a single time he remembered Lord Narayana. Then he understood what his Lord is saying. He says, Lord, forgive me. I know why they are why they are not understanding or not remembering you. So when we are so indulged, so much engrossed in our day-to-day life for money, for power, whatnot, position, this thing, where is our time? Forget about that perfecting our life. So we have to be very conscious of how we are conducting our lifestyle, right? These days, the other day I went to my regular checkup. Once again, same thing, right? All the problems are attributed to the lifestyle problems. Especially these days, if you see diabetics, people are pre-diabetic, diabetic, whatnot. And then, it's very unfortunate. These doctors also here. I'm so these doctors, they just want symptomatic solutions. Okay, they suggest, okay, so you have this problem with this vitamin, or you have problem with vitamin diabetes. Okay, take shots, this shot, B12 shot, D shot, and the vitamin D shot, these shots. But they don't never inquire, Baba, let me know how you day goes. They don't have that damn time or neither interest. Everything these are mafias, pharma mafia. Okay, you want to have something? Drop a pill, you will solution. It was so annoying. I had a colleague. He was diagnosed diabetics, and I think stage 3 or stage 2, whatever that one. And then one day he was saying, Krishna, I'm very happy that now they implanted something in the my arm. Now every day I can scan and see the readings. Okay, how I am doing. It's good. But look at that. See the why you want to put some artificial thing in your body to monitor? Why don't you understand what is the how you can naturally overcome these things? Meaning certain food habits you need to, certain food items you should avoid, right? And then try to eat more natural food, and then eat early, go to bed early, sleep early, wake up early. See, this whole lifestyle, beautiful lifestyle, if you have, then problems automatically, these problems that could be avoided can be avoided. But unfortunately, our lives are so busy, we don't even take care properly that one. So what I am trying to say is, it is very important the our actions, how we conduct. So to have a proper actions, we have to properly engage our life in such a way. So from where we went from the action activities of these wings, the hymns, the glorification is coming. Okay, that's what. And then another thing is the devotees, Kardama Muni and all other devotees who are there, they are able to see the pathway in which the Lord ascended or going to Vaikuntha. They are able to see, right? See, can we see with our mundane eye Supreme Lord? No. And people will say, oh, where is the God? Did you see the God? I mean, in their own capacity, they are right, because they think, as if I am seeing them, I will be able to see the Supreme Lord, because they don't have that understanding, because they didn't hear, and they are only with their limited understanding. Not that I am saying I've expanded because of my association with organization, Srila Prabhupada organization, constantly hearing, somehow that will penetrate into our brain, right? By hook or crook it goes, because the sadhana is, whatever stage you are, it doesn't matter, all you have to do is practice. So practice makes progress. Progress makes perfection. So this is the PPP formula. So our goal is only practice. Rest is taken care. Rest is taken care, because the Lord also merciful on those who practice. Nothing comes just like that. So that's sadhana. So can I see the Supreme Lord? No. But whereas the Lord's mercy can enable me to see that one, right? In the what to speak of mundane jiva, me. Then in the during the Kurukshetra war, we also see that, right? Arjuna wanted to see this gigantic, universal form of the Supreme Lord. The Lord said, Baba, you can't handle that, first of all. And then, first of all, you cannot see that. Then, first, once you see that, you cannot handle that one. And he said, but however, you wanted to see, and however, you are surrendered to me. That's the reason I am giving you Divya Chakshu. With this Divya Chakshu, you will be able to see. And then that's how he was able to see. Similarly, here, Kardam Muni and others, they were able to see because the Lord manifested to them. Why? Because they are pure devotees and they are able to see the pathway. That is what Srila Prabhupada is highlighting here. So, now another thing Srila Prabhupada is saying here, bringing a very good point to make us learn ordinary class of transcendentalists. So here, especially the ordinary transcendentalists referred to address or to who people who think that the Lord doesn't have form. So for those people, he's saying they are not able to see that. Why? Because these people, first of all, they don't think Lord has a form. Then where is the question of the Lord is coming, Lord is going? Because for them everything is space, nothing, right? Shunyavadi. They are Shunyavadis. So that is those people are not able to see the Lord. They are not able to see the pathway, and they are not able to appreciate that one. Why? Obviously, they think everything voidism. Well, Bhagavatam also says these are three ways of understanding Supreme Lord, right? So, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. These are three. So that also right into some extent, but that is a kindergarten level of understanding of the Supreme Lord. So if you think everything everywhere is void, it is basic. That's good. They are far better than people atheists. They think that nothing is there. Everything is happening just like that. They are far better than these people. But everything is a gradation, right? Then the then that is not the ultimate thing. And also there is a very, I mean, people I don't know who are practicing, because I didn't never practice what are the challenges, but at least being following the Srila Prabhupada, it is very tough. When you think everywhere is God is there. Yes, that is, we also say that yes, God's presence is there everywhere, because the tree is there. How it is growing? Because of the Lord's mercy. Lord has manifested. Because, but we don't think that's the ultimate thing. We think for the ultimate thing, Bhagavan. So the Bhagavan feature is very easy to perfect the life, because there is a form and there is a service. Service is the one through which we perfect our life. So the service, to perform the service, there should be a person who service, and there should be a person who receiving the service. Both are required. So that is the reason. And Srila Prabhupada is saying that ordinary transcendentalists, these voidism people or Shunyavadis, they won't be able to appreciate this one. They won't be able to see it. That is very nice point. So we need to understand how fortunate we are to come to the right philosophy. Right philosophy in the sense, I don't want to use the right philosophy. Yeah, I want to say the perfect philosophy that enables our relationship to the Supreme Lord. Right, wrong, in the mundane world that goes. Everything has their own purpose, and our purpose is to attain the Supreme Lord, His love, Krishna Prema, and that only can be easily can be attained by the devotional practice. That is the reason, even though Bhagavad Gita first chapter, Srila Prabhupada starts giving the dose from there itself, because the mundane jivas, it's very hard for them. So gradually the dose has to be increased. So even though in this chapter, particular chapter, there is no reference, everything Prabhupada dovetails, brings to the that particular chapter also, he gives the flavor of the devotional service. Why? A person who stops reading further chapters, at least they will get the hint about the devotional service. That is the causeless mercy of the our acharyas. They have come to such a um, to our level, to my level, to give Krishna. What to speak? Is there anything in this creation? I'm not saying in this world, I'm in this creation. Is there anything bigger than or supreme than attaining the Krishna's love, Krishna Prema? Nothing. That is all we are trying to achieve. And the law and acharyas are coming to our level, my level, to give. Okay, Baba, I know you are a dumb guy, but at least you take this principle, you perfect your life. So that is the beauty of the um, Srila Prabhupada movement, Srila Prabhupada literature. Everything Prabhupada has given. There is nothing that we need to add, we need to subtract. He has given perfect process, perfect locations, sadhana, entire A to Z he has given. That itself is enough for us. Two beautiful literatures he has given, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. If we can read this and then meditate and perfect our life, we are guaranteed. Srila Prabhupada is our, there was one um, sannyasi from South Africa, and he was so beautifully saying, and the analogy is giving, Srila Prabhupada is our attorney. He is there. When we go there, he will argue to the Lord on behalf of us. So when our attorney is the Supreme, Srila Prabhupada, why to worry? He is an expert. He has done everything for Lord's to propagate this Krishna conscious, when we are in such a hands of person, attorney, where is we don't need to worry. Just do your best. The intent is needed. There are sometimes the so-called actions apparently may appear wrong, but the intent is very important. So there is a saying in Hindi, right? Niyat sahi hona chahiye. The intent is what is more important than anything. So having said that, so Srila Prabhupada was highlighting that normal transcendentalists cannot see the path that the Lord going back to Vaikunta on Garuda. Okay. And then Srila Prabhupada, another beautiful point is puts in the last sentence. Lord on the way to Vaikunta, hear the flappings of his wings vibrating the sound of Hare Krishna, the essence of Samaveda. So, so there are so many hymns, right? So, and the Srila Prabhupada is saying that vibration is sounding like a Hare Krishna. See, for this yuga, it is said that this is Maha Mantra. Maha Mantra. Manaha Trayate iti mantra. So the sound vibration that attracts the mind, that the chanchala swabhav of the mind is restricted through the mantra. And then this Hare Krishna mantra is Maha Mantra, meaning it is the topmost vibration for Kali Yuga given for easy process. So I'm not saying that the Kali Yuga life easy, you can do anything. No, that is not at all my experience. That is not at all my intent. But the process, according to every yuga, the process also prescribed to the level of the audience, isn't it? The doctor may have a very strong medication. If you take that medication, bam, the moment you take, you will jump and run. But doctor won't exercise or give that medicine to everybody, because the capacity of the patient is also important. Is he able to sustain that power of the medication? So he first measures whether this person is able to sustain or not. So according to his capacity, he gives that dose. And sometimes he may not give that also, because he is not even able to. So he will give something else. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this medicine. He diluted so much the whole scriptures, and he gave this. Baba, take this. This is potent like a pure. So that is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Hare Krishna Mahamantra is Prabhupada is saying that vibration. So constantly by remembering the Supreme Lord in the form of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when we utter, when we are wherever we are, if we can, if I can make that practice, my life will be sublime, and I will be happy. So Hare Krishna. So we will end our reading here. Thank you very much for joining today's call. Hare Krishna.